Hello, folks. It's your girl, Blackgirlmarvel. I'm back with day 6 of 31 days of reviews. Percy Jackson. I don't know what that was, but I hope y'all enjoyed it. All right, so I'm on episode 3 of Percy Jackson. I think. Hold up. Yeah, episode 3. Right. As always, Percy Jackson episodes on Disney Plus will be spoiled. So if you do not want to hear it, go watch Percy Jackson and then come back to me. Anyway, this wasn't a bad episode. We're getting more into it, you know. We got to see Medusa, played by Jessica Parker Kennedy, who I've seen her in a bunch of stuff. But I think the most recent thing people will remember her from is she played Nora West Allen in the Flash television. She's a really good actress. She has a calmness to her acting. She enunciates very nicely. I know that sounds crazy, but I like that in stuff because, you know, I can understand you. I can hear you. I know what you're talking. She's a very interesting Medusa. They also alluded to her background a little bit more because if you don't know in Greek mythology, Poseidon raped Medusa. She got blamed for it, and that's how she got turned into what she got turned into. It's a whole thing. Go look it up. It's wild. The Greek gods are wild. But seeing as this is a child show, they're not gonna do that. But they did allude to it, and I like the alluding. I like the alluding. They still kept it PG, but they still explained that she's not as bad as you would think. She's a product of her circumstances, and that's what they pretty much alluded to. I like the not. I don't know what I was trying to. I like the dynamic between Percy, Annabeth, and Grover simply because it's 3 people who are on this quest for 3 different reasons. Grover's trying to prove himself. Annabeth is trying to fulfill a prophecy, essentially, because it said she would meet a dude, go on a quest. And they're all trying to prove themselves across the board. But you know, Grover is trying to be more than just a junior protector. I think Annabeth is trying to show that she is her mother's greatest child, her greatest offspring. And for Percy want his mama. Like, he want his mama. And he like, but I also know I gotta say the word, but I want my mama. You feel me? But 3 different reasons. We talked about Grover my last video. Talk about him again. Bro stepped up this episode, you know, sinking aside. He stepped up heavy to be like, listen, y'all, we not gonna make it if we don't trust each other. And we need to trust each other. And I dig that from him. He shut that whole thing down. And the secret being released that he was not only Percy's protector, but before that he was Thalia's, Luke, and Annabeth's protector speaks volumes. And I can't wait till we get to know more about that. I smell a flashback in the future. But it is Annabeth for me is interesting because she's very guarded, and you can see that in her. It's giving like Captain Marvel vibes, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if the consensus for people watching this, if they don't like Annabeth, because she is like a colder, harder character. But it makes sense when you're Athena's daughter and you think 5 steps ahead. It's kind of hard to know, you know, left from right, up and down. I thoroughly understand. I will say we saw a little bit of her softer sides, not so much when she speaks, but like if you pay attention to her in the background when people are talking or when things are directed towards her, you can see a sadness and a softness to her. You can tell that she wants to be liked. You can tell that she wants to have friends. But she's that type of kid who is like a prodigy, who's like awkward at the same time. You know, you've been immersed in your books. You've been immersed in, you know, fighting. You've been immersed. Your brain moves differently, even more differently than a demigod's brain already moves. Kind of makes you an outcast, and people seem to respect her due to her like her prowess and being Athena's daughter, but they don't seem to just like respect Annabeth herself, unless you like Luke. But we all know Luke got ulterior. It was nice to get to the core of Percy, to be like, yo bro, listen, Oracle said these things, I don't know who to trust, and I'm confused. You know what I mean? Like, he got thrown into this life, and everybody just kind of expected him just to know what to do, know how to move, and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, he's a demigod, but at the end of the day, bro human. bro, he for sure Sally Jackson's about to say daughter. He for sure Sally Jackson's son. He ain't Poseidon's son right now. And I'm assuming he'll officially become Poseidon's son like the last episode, because that just kind of might make sense. And I dig the fact that he struggles, and I dig the fact that these three are struggling together to find their dynamic, as opposed to the films where like they just kind of melded together and they just like listened to Percy, and it was just like, he don't know nothing, how you listening to Percy? So I like the fact that in this one, Annabeth is like, I'm gonna take charge, which I'm sorry, I understand that she was on the streets, but she ain't been on the streets in a minute. I agree with Percy. They need to like, it needs to be a voting system, hopefully in episode 4 that kind of gets set up, because Annabeth ain't been in the real world in quite some time. You can't take the, like, her going to the gas station should have been the first night. The girl ain't know which bubblegum to pick. She took it all, and then she took chips, and then she got soda, and it's like, baby girl, you at a gas station, get some sandwiches. Like, we hungry out here. But like I said, I like the dynamic between the three of them. I like that it's not easy for them. I like that they have to figure out their dynamics. I like that they have to figure out their strengths. And on top of that too, Percy has to figure out his abilities and how he can use them to help the team. And I'm ready to see Annabeth fight. Like y'all teasing. I'm ready to see sis throw down. I'm ready to see what she can do. I'm ready to see what those 5 steps ahead gets us, because if you can think 5 steps ahead, she should never be touched. She should never be touched. But it's a kid's show. We all know that she gonna get punched in the face or something like that. But she shouldn't, though. All in all, I think the show is going in a nice direction. You know? I think, but I do think Percy's wrong about that prophecy, because Grover is your friend. But nowhere did Annabeth say she was your friend. She never called you a friend. But also, she looked a little hurt when he said that he didn't trust her. And part of me is like, why you look hurt, babe? You've done nothing to earn my trust. And I think that's pretty cool. Like, you know, as a person just kind of like watching it, kind of like living through them, it's like, Annabeth, you shouldn't be hurt that I don't think you view as a friend, because you left me to defend myself against the kids of Ares, god of war, you know, instead of just telling me stuff like, hey, I think you're the son of Poseidon. You pushed me into water. Yeah, I got claimed, but still. And on top of that too, you're trying to bogart my quest. I'm just saying, friends take time. And I think Annabeth has to realize that. Again, if I feel like there's a lot that can be said in between dialogues or done in between dialogues that the show is not really doing, but I get it. All the episodes are like 40 to 44, 45 minutes a piece. You can only put so much in there. But I need the character development to continue. I need more, a little bit more personality from Annabeth. I'm sure it's coming, because you can't be around Grover and Percy and not learn how to loosen up a little bit, which is what she needs. All in all, really good episode. Like I say, they're going in the right trajectory. I'm sad we only saw Medusa 1 episode. I mean, Jessica Parker Kennedy was killing that role. Also, I want to shout out Glenn Turman, who a lot of people would know as Colonel Taylor from A Different World, who plays Chiron. Jason, I believe his last name is pronounced Mantzoukas, who plays Dionysus. And Megan Mullally, who plays the Furies, which Megan is doing some subtle, sinister acting that I'm like, delicious. So, if you haven't checked out Percy Jackson and the Olympians on Disney Plus, make sure you follow me on everything so you can see my reviews about it, and well, my commentary reviews, how you want to say it. Because I mean, if I had to review this episode, I guess I could give like episode like reviews, like ratings. I think I've been doing that. I can't remember. But if I'm gonna rate this episode, I'll give this episode, I could rate them all separately, and I could rate the show as a whole. If I had to rate this particular episode, I would probably give this episode a 8 out of 10. I'll give it 8 out of 10. It was good. It was dynamic. It was engaging. It was good. Good character development. It was good. Check it out. See you later.